In this lesson, we will learn how to secure switch VTY access. We'll work with this diagram in this lesson. So the goal is to telnet to the switch at data center from a client computer in the office. As you know, telnet creates a TCP section port 23. It is a two-way communication. To achieve the goal, we need to utilize a feature called Switch Virtual Interface or SVIs. As you may know, SVI is a logical interface that represents a VLAN of one or more physical interfaces, which means at least one physical interface of the switch must be existed in the VLAN for the SVI to be up. So the next step is to assign an IP address to the SVI to provide IP connectivity from the client to the switch. And after that, we need to configure the default gateway for the VLAN in the switch to allow the switch to respond to the client's request across the subnet. Here are the steps to secure switch VTY access. First, we need to assign an IP address for the SVIs. After that, we need to configure the default gateway in the switch. Then we configure so that when an user VTY accesses to the switch via SVI, it requires the user to provide either of the following credentials: simple password or local username and password. After providing correct credential, the user is placed in the user mode. When the user types enable, it requires the user to provide the password to access the privilege mode. To configure an IP address for the SVIs at the switch configuration mode, we need to issue the command interface VLAN, and then we provide the VLAN number and then hit enter. It will bring us to the interface configuration mode. We need to issue the command IP address, and we provide the IP and the subnet mask, and then hit enter. To bring up the interface, we need to issue the command no shut. Let's do it in Cisco Skill Switch 1. Here we are in the privilege mode of the Cisco Skill Switch 1. We need to issue the command show VLAN brief. The reason we need to do that is we want to verify at least one physical interface is in the VLAN 1, and as you can see, here's a bunch of physical interfaces in VLAN 1, so we are in good shape. Let's go to the configuration mode, configure T, and then hit enter. Now we issue the command interface VLAN 1 and issue the command IP address, and we provide the IP address 10.0.2.10 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and no shut to bring up the interface. And as you can see, the interface is up for VLAN 1 switch virtual interface. And let's verify it. Show IP interface brief, and here is the IP address for the switch virtual interface for VLAN 1 that we just configured. To configure default gateway at the switch configuration mode, we issue the command IP default-gateway, and then we provide the IP address for the gateway, then hit enter. Let's do it in Cisco Skill Switch 1. We are at the privilege mode. We need to go to the configuration mode, then issue the command IP default-gateway, and then we provide the IP address for the gateway 10.0.2.1, then hit enter. And let's verify it. Show run and filter by section IP, and here is the IP default gateway that we just configured. To configure the exact mode password at the switch configuration mode, we issue the command enable secret, and we type in the password and then hit enter. Let's do it in Cisco Skill Switch 1. We need to go to the configuration mode, then type in the command enable secret and type in the password Cisco skills, then hit enter. Let's verify show run filter by section secret, and here is the secret password that we config, and as you can see it has been encrypted. To configure the VTY password at the switch configuration mode, we issue the command line VTY and then we provide the range. In this case it is from 0 to 4, which means we allow up to 5 concurrent connections to the switch via the VTY. Now we hit enter. It will bring us to the line configuration mode, and we issue the command password and then we provide the password. In this case it is Cisco skills, then hit enter. Now to force the user to log in, we issue the command login and then hit enter. Let's do it in Cisco Skill Switch 1. Here we are in the privilege mode. We go to the configuration mode and we issue the command line VTY to check the range that we can configure for the VTY. We put in the question mark. In this case we can provide the range from 0 to 4, so let's enter 0, 4 and then hit enter. Now we issue the command password and we set the password Cisco skills and hit enter. And to force the user login, we type in the command login and let's verify it, show run and filter by section line. As you can see in the line VTY from 0 to 4, we have the password Cisco skill and we request the user to log in. To verify VTY connection from the PC, we need to telnet to the switch. So in this case, we need to issue the command telnet and then we provide the IP address of the switch virtual interface that we have just configured and then hit enter. And here we need to enter the password Cisco skills and then hit enter. Let's do it in our PC. Here we need to issue the command telnet and then provide the IP address 10.0.2.10 and hit enter. Here we need to enter the password Cisco skills that we configured and then hit enter. It brings us to the user mode. To go to the privilege mode, we need to issue the command enable, then hit enter. And here we need to enter the password Cisco skills, then hit enter. To verify it is a Cisco skills switch 1, we need to issue the command show IP interface brief. And as you can see, this is the IP address of the switch that we connected to. To configure switch VTY access using local username and password at the switch configuration mode, we issue the command username, then we provide the username and secret, then we provide the password, then hit enter. In this case, we have just created the local user with the username Cisco skills and the password Cisco skills. Let's go to the live VTY configuration mode. To force the user to log in with the local username and password, we need to issue the command login local, then hit enter. Let's do it in Cisco Skill Switch 1. Here we are in the privilege mode. Let's go to the configuration mode, then issue the command username Cisco skills, then the secret, also Cisco skills, then hit enter. Now let's go to the live VTY from 0 to 4, and to force the user to log in with the local username and password, we need to issue the command login local, then hit enter. Let's verify our configuration, show run section user. As you can see, we have just created the user with the username Cisco skill, and the password has been encrypted. Let's verify the live VTY configuration. So run section line. As you can see from live VTY 0 to 4, even though we set the password Cisco skill here, but it's not being used because we force the user to log in with the local username and password. To verify, we need to telnet to the switch from our PC. In this case, we need to issue the command telnet, then provide the IP address of the switch, then hit enter. Then we enter the username, then hit enter, then enter the password, then hit enter. Let's do it in our PC. We need to issue the command telnet 10.0.2.10, then hit enter. As you can see, it asks us for the username, and then we need to enter the local username that we configure, Cisco skills, then hit enter. It asks us for the password. We need to enter the password, Cisco skills. It brings us to the user mode. To go to the private mode, we need to issue the command enable, and we need to enter the password Cisco skill to access the private mode. Let's verify our switch configuration. Show IP interface brief, and as you can see, this is the IP address of the switch virtual interface that we configure. So it is a Cisco skill switch 1. Let's X out of this, and we are back in our PC.